Coach Jeff Scott of Clemson, the co-offensive coordinator and wide receivers coach, joining us now. And, of course, Clemson, the number one team in the country. Coach Scott, what is it like to be on the number one team in the country?
Yeah, it's been a special year for sure. And, I think coming into the season, I don't think that there was too many people around here that thought we would be at this place so quickly, with a lot of guys on defense leaving us last year, and some question marks on offense. But it's been a great year, and last few weeks, obviously, there's a lot of excitement with where we are, and maybe some of the attention that we've been getting nationally. But I think our players and coaches have done a really good job of trying to keep everything simple around here and just stay focused on our season and what we're doing.
Clemson is the number one team in the country, and co-offensive coordinator, wide receivers coach Jeff Scott joining us now. Armen and Levack, 104.5 The Team, your home for New York sports. Coach Scott, tell me about Dabo Sweeney. What do I need to know about this guy?
Yeah, Coach Sweeney he's an awesome coach, very genuine. He does a great job with our team kind of behind closed doors. And I think maybe from a national perspective, a lot of people, maybe what they know about Coach Sweeney is his dance moves in the locker room after the game, or maybe he gets excited on the sidelines during the game. But he does an excellent job, and he's done an excellent job here at Clemson, really building this culture, for the last 6 years that he's been our head coach.
You mentioned Dabo Sweeney's dance moves, and you're dang right, it's taken over the country. Is there a preferred dance move that you have, or is there a requested dance move that you've seen him pull off where you're like, okay, Coach?
Yeah, I give him a lot of credit for getting out there. I try to stay towards the back of the room so I don't get put in that situation whenever the music gets turned on. But, really where all that comes from is, Coach Sweeney is a big believer in us celebrating the wins. And I think what happens sometimes when you have a successful program, we're going for our 10th win this season, which will be 5 years in a row with at least 10 wins. And what happens a lot of times is you get into a situation, it's just kind of expected that you go out and win, and the guys never really enjoy it, and they just kind of take them for granted. And, and the message Coach Sweeney has is, hey, every win is hard to get these days in college football. And we're going to work extremely hard throughout the week. But whenever we win, whether it was a nice win or an ugly win, whatever you want to call it, hey, we're going to celebrate it. We're going to enjoy it. And then we're going on the next day. And I think our players have really embraced that. And I think they get with him during the week sometimes and try to show him a new move, maybe to use in the locker room. And even though he says he doesn't practice, I do think that I've caught him practicing once or twice.
Coach Jeff Scott, the co-offensive coordinator and wide receivers coach for the number one team in the country, Clemson, with Armen and Levack on 104.5 The Team.
Coach, you clearly have one of the biggest and loudest cheerleaders in the entire country. What are your thoughts on Rex Ryan wearing your Clemson helmet during his press conference?
Yeah, I thought that was classic Rex. We started getting text messages and everything in our meetings pretty quick whenever he came out there. But Rex has turned into a big-time Clemson fan, and, I think he did a lot of good recruiting for us yesterday. I think a lot of that, part of that interview was on SportsCenter, and you can't buy that type of advertisement, to have that tiger paw out there in the forefront. But, we love Rex down here at Clemson. His son, Steph Ryan, is one of my wide receivers. He's also the starting holder for us, and he's a backup wide receiver that travels with us and does an excellent job and just goes about his work. And so we're glad to have the Ryan family within our Clemson family down here.
Clemson's coach Jeff Scott with Armen and Levack, and you mentioned you being the wide receivers coach. Who is the one wide receiver in the NFL, past or present, that you would look to your guys and say, be like that guy?
Yeah, I really like Jerry Rice, and I know he's been out for a few years, but we've got some of his old video from his practices and some of his workouts, and just the way that he attacked every day and the way that he prepared, as a professional. He's a guy that myself and some of our other coaches really talk to our wide receivers about. But there's a lot of guys, that obviously have reputations for being hard workers and really being a complete receiver. These guys now, it's kind of the Odell Beckham. They all just want to go out there and see how they can make a one-handed catch, and then they're in pregame warm-ups and get somebody to take a picture of them making a one-handed catch. And, that's not what we're looking for. That might be fun for Twitter and Vine, but we're looking for guys that are a complete player, physical blocker, and, can do things even when the ball's not in their hands. And so that's really what we really focus on, is becoming a complete player, and I think our guys have bought into that.
Coach, I'm a little shocked after the week he had, you didn't say Sammy Watkins.
Yeah, I know. I do talk about Sammy quite often down here, and I believe he's going to be able to meet us up there at Syracuse at the game, so I know our players will be excited to see him on the sidelines.
Coach, you were on the team, obviously, Clemson, when Sammy Watkins was there. You were the wide receivers coach at that time. Tell us about Sammy Watkins.
Yeah, Sammy is special. He's just different. We figured that out the very first day that he got here. And when he came into our program, we were a little bit deprived in the skill positions, especially the wide receiver position. And coming in as a true freshman, I really thought it would probably take him about 3 or 4 games before he would become our starter. And after his first practice, he was the starter day 2. And just very, very rare, his football knowledge, his work ethic. He's a guy that you just have to show him something one time, and he remembers it, he can recall it. And he was just one of those guys that's very, very special. Coach Sweeney likes to say that, it's kind of like when you open something out of the box, there's no assembly required on this one. Most freshmen, even these talented guys that we get, we got to coach them up, we got to work them, and it takes a little while to kind of get them going. But Sammy was just a guy that came in and was ready. And the thing that impressed me the most was his ability to learn the offense and learn the position. That ability to learn that quickly as a freshman really is what stuck with me. I still got his notebook from his freshman year. It's probably over 100 pages, handwritten notes that he took throughout fall camp. And that's just rare for a young guy. You see that out of your juniors and seniors. But he was just a guy that was very different. We're looking forward to, if he can stay healthy up there, I think he's going to make a lot of plays for years to come.
Coach, this Saturday you go to the Carrier Dome, you take on the Syracuse Orange. Your heavy favorites. LSU was heavy favorites. They gave LSU all they could handle. What kind of challenges does this Syracuse team present to you?
Yeah, well, the one thing when you play Syracuse is they're going to always play hard. They're tough guys that play hard, play with great effort, and because of that, they put themselves in position to win a lot of games. And I know their season hasn't quite gone the way that they wanted it to, but we don't have to look very far to show our guys examples. Florida State rolls into Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech losing 5 games in a row and upsets Florida State. The first thing I did with our offensive guys when we started the week is I showed them on video what the scoreboard was at our game last year. At the end of the first quarter, Syracuse is up 3-0 in Death Valley. At halftime, Syracuse was winning 6-3 at halftime in Death Valley. And then the start of the fourth quarter, Clemson's up 9-6, and we hit 1 touchdown. We had 3 field goals and 1 touchdown and 4 turnovers last year. And so I just kind of showed that to remind them each week, that these guys playing Division I football, we're at a point as a program and talent that we can win every game on our schedule, but we're also in a league and playing teams that we could lose any of these games. And so it's about our focus and about our execution. And I believe our guys have done a good job of that up to this point.
Number 1 ranked Clemson assistant coach Jeff Scott. All right, Coach. I came from Texas up here to Albany, New York, and Levack was very disappointed that I did not have a Texas accent. If we took 10 Clemson people and we lined them up in a row, how many people out of those 10 would have that wonderful Southern drawl that you're putting on display for us right now?
10 out of 10.
Really?
See, and we got. Yeah. And how do we get the anomaly up here? How'd that happen?
I'm not sure, but we like to say Clemson down here, not Clemson. It's
Yes.
Clemson.
There's a P in there, right?
Yeah, it's half of a P.
Half a P. Okay, Clemson.
That's like me when I'm in a hurry. Yeah, I got to take half a pee. I'll be right there.
Clemson. Stop it. Stop. And on that note, Coach Jeff Scott, co-offensive coordinator and wide receiver of Clemson. Hey, Coach, I know you're doing this between practices. Listen, good luck this weekend against Syracuse. Good luck this season. Go grab that national championship. And I know you guys got a lot of work to do before then. Thank you so much for your time today, Coach.
Okay, thank you. I enjoyed it.